Within our community, who do we exclude and who do we privilege? There is a terrorism of inculcated fear by the people who wish to wield their power in such a terroristic fashion. And so when we talk about our enemies, what is our common enemy? I think we should broaden who our allies are. We learned that in war it is good to know your enemy. It is also good to know your ally. And above all, it is important to know yourself. Who are our allies, who are our enemies, and who are ourselves? Well, this is not just a movement that exists in San Francisco, in New York, in West Hollywood, in Hillcrest. It involves the entire Midwest. It encompasses the entire Middle East. It encompasses the entire world. For what I'm a part of now, and what you are a part of now, is a global human justice movement. You are part of something much greater than just you. And this is why I'm taking the controversial but very important moral stance to support a fellow comrade named Private First Class Bradley Manning.
Must be sitting at the conservative table here.
In order to allow more people to speak, to have free speech, but also to protect freedom. And so I am no stranger to the argument as to why certain clubs and certain organizations have not supported Bradley Manning full-throated. I do today because Bradley Manning reminds us that justice is not just us. When we fight for rights, when we fight for the right to serve, do we stop right there? And is that the meaning of our movement? Is that all that we're capable of achieving? Or are we truly a global movement? We have to denounce the decisions of the San Francisco Pride organization when they stripped away, just as Bradley Manning was literally being stripped away. So we must do that. Not for the reasons why you might think that I would come up here and share with you, but because people in the third world, the developing world, people in countries that WikiLeaks has helped, they didn't know that Bradley Manning was gay. They knew about WikiLeaks. They knew about totalitarian governments. They knew about oppression. They knew about that just as well as Bradley Manning knows about it, and now they can connect with him personally and know that he is a gay man. So when the question came up, did Bradley Manning do anything for gay rights? The question is, I know what he did for gay rights. What are you doing for gay rights? I call upon this gay community and this gay rights movement. For you are the vanguard here, those who are willing to listen to a long speech, politicians. For 5 reasons, we have to make our efforts global. Number one, we're going to win equality in our lifetime. And I'm not just talking young people, old people, in your lifetime too. We are going to be equal. Number two, we are, as gay people, humanitarians, in nature, in our heart. We care about those who do not belong, for whatever reason, for in our homes. We all have not belonged one time in our lives. And so, that's the reason number two why we have to reach out to the least of these, my brethren. And that is how you treated me. When we go to the other countries, when we talk about Uganda, when we talk about Russia, when we talk about other countries around the world, in our minimized travel, we can travel around countries and have our words travel faster than we can even think them sometimes. They call you selfish because you do this work. I'm not gonna cry. No, it's been a long fucking journey, people, and I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna talk like a soldier to you. This is gonna be really shitty. You give, and you give, and you give. And you think that you're doing something for somebody else. And then they call you selfish. It is not selfish to fight on behalf of people that are just like you that aren't born yet. And they look at you and they wonder, did you listen to all the other progressive organizations that say, no, you need to fight for the environment first. You need to fight for immigration first. You need to come to Brandon Manning's rallies first. And you ask them, you dare to ask them, were you there for us first? And then the game has changed now. Because all of a sudden, gay rights has privilege in our progressive movement. And we're forced now to ask ourselves, where do we go from here without seeming too selfish to the other progressives that have been there for us? It is not selfish to fight for your own. Because when you go to the bigger table for your own rights, if you have not fought, then how dare you think you're going to fight for everybody else? It is the most arrogant and the most ignorant and one of the most patriarchal manners of acting at the bigger table once you get there. That you didn't have to fight for your own rights, but you know everything, so you can help everybody else, and we shall overcome. That's not how it works. We get up there, we fight for our own, we stand up not only for us, but in so doing, when we are fighting for ourselves, you prevent people from committing suicide. And I know that every time that I've thought about it myself, I didn't know if this person giving me a 12-step or a script, I didn't know if that was going to help me. But I knew that one person being willing to show that courage and still live, I don't care how well he talks, I don't care whether their community is being gentrified, I don't care what color their skin is, I just need to know that they survived. And so when you fight for your own rights and you say, I survived, I am somebody, and I deserve full equality, it is not selfish in first person. You tell that other person, if I can, as a discriminated, oppressed human being in this country, that I'm willing to die for, but you criticize me for wearing the uniform and allowing other people to wear the uniform in the service of it. You criticize me, but I still love you. I'm still alive. And that's what I hope resounds to all people. I don't know how to prevent somebody from committing suicide, and I think most of the experts don't know either, because we still have suicide as an epidemic. Is one thing that we still haven't figured out. But I know this. When you look at somebody else who has survived, it is their duty, and it is our duty if we've survived. If you're hearing this right now, you don't worry about how much you can gain. You don't worry about how much comfort that you can have. If you want to be a leader, you sacrifice. If you want influence, you believe in what you say more than anybody else at the table, more than anybody else in the room. And so, I'm going to end the way that I began. Actually, before I end, let me just thank all of the club for having me here. I do appreciate it. I brought such a diverse group of people here to be awarded tonight. Bless you all for all your continued work. And the straight people that are here tonight, we would like to applaud for you. If you're straight, we would like to applaud for you. Are there any straight people here tonight? Yes. It is readily obvious as to why gay people, we need you. We need straight people. You know, you need us too, straight people. You need to know that if we're not equal in this country, then you're not equal either, because equal goes both ways. And gay people need straight people, obviously, because you make us. And we need you to keep on making more of us.
Nobody got that one, huh?
But if you are wondering whether your work will be remembered, if you are wondering whether it ends with a piece of glass that's given here to you today, or whether this is just something that will spur you on further, remember this. The poem that I started off with, the guy who wrote it 700 years ago, he's not the most rich, he's not the most powerful. His mom was a servant woman who carried a water jug on her head. His name is Mutanabila. And he wrote this poem, this identity poem for this very famous king who wanted to be remembered throughout all of history. 700 years later, we remember the stanzas, the horses in the night in the desert. They all know who I am. The sword and the spear, the pen and the scroll, they all know who I am. I am the one that can make the deaf to hear my poetry. And I am the one that makes the blind to read my prose.